Picture it, 1997. Young Kevin acquires the hottest game of the decade, Final Fantasy VII, and his love of stories is born. On this episode, special episode, we're going to do 7-7, the 7 books that we love. Hello viewers, and today, as mentioned at the top, we're doing 7-7, which are the 7 books that we love. And this is actually Kevin's episode, so he'll be going and doing a deep dive into the things that he's read over the years that have stuck with him. And then I will actually put out my video shortly thereafter. So if you like what we're about to share with you, let us know down below in the comments. We'd love to also hear what your 7 stories are that you love. And or 5 or 3 or whatever. You could, give us a whole smorgasbord of stories. We're cool with it. So yeah, let's get started. And as I said, Final Fantasy VII. That was what he acquired first. Take it away. Tell us about it.
Obviously not a book.
So it could be a little bit of a sheet, but not really.
But when I was younger, I didn't care to read. That's pretty much across the board for most children, I would say.
No.
Anyways, this is the first story that I actually sat down and read. Because you had to read the story to figure out where you were going and to play the game. And 20 years later, I still pretty much remember most of it. Kind of a... I wouldn't quite say post-apocalyptic, but, kind of a dark world. Broken characters trying to save it. No.
Yeah, I get it.
Epic.
Yep, epic. Well, that's why it was the hottest game.
Well, plus it was revolutionary graphics-wise at the time. Especially on the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And the music was great.
Yep. I've actually, if you've watched some of our other videos, there have been some references to this game on my part. Which also means that I didn't play it, but my brother, who's also named Kevin, he played it, and so I watched him play it a lot. And so I guess you could say I kind of read it too.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, this is about him, not me. Next, or are you good?
Next.
Okay, next.
It's still another game, Xenogears. And where this is more fantasy with some tech in it, this is like sci-fi with fantasy completely, because it's got big old mechs in it for the sci-fi, and opening is kind of got like space travel, but it doesn't really explore it in this game. And kind of hard to explain that one without getting into a lot of spoilers.
But what about this game? Because there was so many games.
It made me question a lot of things in life.
Like what? Religion,
leadership, various things, honestly.
Okay.
And it was, while the main person in Final Fantasy VII had some mental trauma, this took it to another level with the main character. I will say, as a spoiler, he did have multiple personalities, depending on which one was in control, depending on what was going on, but he definitely had some broken stuff going on. So, next?
Yeah, it's up to you. You're running this thing.
First book series I decided to try to read in high school. I was crazy. Of course, I didn't know how long it was going to be. But...
How long is it?
14 books plus a prequel.
Oof. And this is the first one, I'm assuming.
This is volume 1.
Yeah, I think I read that.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
You don't remember nothing, I'm sure.
Nope.
So... This one, I got to like the 6th book when I was in school. And then I gave up because it wasn't done yet, and it was taking forever. So when the final book was announced and Sanderson finished it, I picked it back up and read the whole series. And basically no interruptions except for I took a little break in the middle, but went through. The character development is amazing and the world building is amazing in that one. as most of y'all probably already know.
Yeah, and it's actually coming out on Amazon in a couple months.
Looking forward to it. Hope they don't fuck it up.
I think that's how most people who've read it feel.
Well, they're already changing things, which I understand is not going to be a completely faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
So, being as that I appreciated how Sanderson finished The Wheel of Time, I got into his... Well, I've read Mistborn first, which obviously me and her are reading now.
Mm-hmm.
Stormlight Archive is like, I would say, his masterpiece. Bigger in scale, the world building... Pretty much one of the best worlds I've ever seen for my personal taste. And the deep dives into the characters' psyches and the mental trauma they're all dealing with while going through everything that's going on is amazing. And then next will be the Poppy War trilogy. It's very frustrating, but very emotionally driven, and I'd say it reads kind of jagged, but you're in the head of the main character, Ren, who is basically you'd say like a war orphan, who is discriminated against, and it's just her story of growing up, going to an elite military academy, still being discriminated against, and as she, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but it is, as she breaks and goes through the world, it's just, it upsets you and then to know that it's based off of real things that happened in Chinese history, like the author took stuff from that. It really makes you think. And then next, I haven't completed it yet, but I've finished 8 out of the 10, Malazan. There is no explaining this simply. I don't even know if I should try. It doesn't read like any other fantasy or sci-fi I've ever seen. It's kind of, you get in characters' heads, but you're not like fully, knowledgeable. It's unreliable narration. And you kind of just jump from groups of characters, and I'm just going to say you witness history unfolding. And he doesn't hold your hand, and you have to form your own opinions of things that are going on. In the fandom, like, say half the people love this character and then the other half just want to backhand her. That kind of thing goes on. And you explore the human condition, I'll say. And
how many books are in this series?
10 in the main series.
Okay.
And then I think overall it's hitting 26-ish.
Okay, now this one is Gardens of the Moon.
That's number 1.
Is that your favorite one that you've read so far?
No.
Oh. So which one's the favorite one you've read so far?
Reaper's Gale.
Okay, and what one would that be?
7.
Oh, okay.
And the great thing about Malazan is the fandom doesn't all agree on what is the best book and best storyline. Because it's got kind of, if you look at World War II, how there's different theaters of war, it kind of happens in here. Like, you got 3 different continents you're dealing with. So 3 different casts, and then they slowly come together later in the series to do its thing, which I obviously don't know the end yet.
Right.
But,
okay.
Yes.
So it's like military
it does have
fantasy.
It does have military fantasy in it, but it also has other elements of fantasy in it.
Okay.
And then last, since, Dune is amazing.
Another one that has something coming out in a few months.
I have to admit, seeing the original trailer like almost a year ago now in the theater, I need to read that. I'm on the 3rd book now, I'm not quite done, but reading it so far, I can honestly say it's amazing now, but considering when it was written, it's like unreal that it came out at that point. so far ahead of its time.
When did it come out?
This one was in the 60s. I'm not sure what year, but I can see its inspiration in The Wheel of Time, Malazan. I can see its inspiration everywhere.
Okay. All right. So what I'm noticing is that a lot of the characters all seem to be broken, and they've all experienced these tragedies and these obstacles. What do you think? Why do you gravitate towards these kind of stories?
It's kind of like music for me. I gravitate towards metal and like dark or extreme metal.
Okay.
It kind of, if you delve into that, your regular life doesn't seem so bad, I guess. I mean, I actually like enjoy listening to it. I'm not saying anything like that. And I enjoy these books. It's just when you're in these characters, in these worlds, and the things that are going on, your BS at work doesn't seem quite so bad.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't read lighthearted stuff, but it doesn't usually stick with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like it shows you how good you've got it.
Yes.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like you don't have to, like say The Wheel of Time, I don't have to worry about, Trollocs and Dark Friends just coming into my village and slaughtering everyone.
Right. But then see, now I'm going to counter with people read to escape. If you've got good and you're reading all these things where there's all this drama and chaos and potential sadness and death, but then you say it reminds you how good it is, your current real life.
The way I can try to explain that is, it probably applies to books too in some way.
Yeah.
But like, have you ever seen a music study where like the people that listen to metal are usually more like level and not so quick to, I think it's kind of the same. It is an escape. Right. And like, it might not seem bright, but you're more used to bumps in the road because like you've witnessed them. Right. I don't,
okay. But does it make sense kind of what I'm like asking? Like you're...
Yeah, like... Yeah. I mean, but if you're so used to the extreme at that point, it kind of... Regular life doesn't throw you off as much.
Okay. So it's kind of like... anger management building?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. That's very good.
So it's anger management?
Yeah, like... There's been times in my life where I'm driving down the road and I got death metal blaring on my stereo. Someone cuts me off. I don't even bat an eye. Just do your thing. And then our mutual friend, Chris, if you're watching this, will have... who does he listen to? Enya. He'll have Enya playing. Someone cuts him off. He goes on a 10-minute tirade. Has to restart the whole album to bring his blood pressure back down.
We love you, Chris.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, we miss you.
We quote you when we drive.
Yes, we do. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Okay, so we've gone over your 7 stories that you love.
Very loosely, trying not to spoil.
Right. Maybe one day we'll dive into them and do reviews. I don't know. We're, whatever, still putting things together. But now, okay, what have you read so far this year that, other than Malazan, because I know you're still working on that one, because you talk to me about it like all the time, and I'm like, it's too big of a series for a newbie, to be attempting.
As far as where we are in our actual discussions we're doing, there's things in Mistborn that you're still kind of like, I'm like, how is she not
getting it?
You are not ready.
I tell you, so I know. So when you're talking to me, I'm like, why are you doing this? I know you want me to read it, but I
need to talk.
Yes, I know. Okay. So, as I was saying, what have you read this year that you've really enjoyed so far?
I read Childhood's End.
Okay.
Because a video game podcast that I was looking at said that the people that wrote Xenogears used it as an influence, and I can see that. And it's just a great sci-fi standalone on its own.
Okay.
I'm reading some John Scalzi, the Interdependency Trilogy. I'm on the 3rd book of that. Some of the politics in it make me think of America Today. Imagine that. I read The Poppy War this year, so I read all 3 of those pretty quick. Malazan has been most of the year.
Okay.
Because I read Gardens of the Moon last year, and then I did Rhythm of War, and then starting this year I started on Dead House Gates. And
you've been blitzing through it. Well, blitzing for Malazan. Yeah, I
need a break.
Yeah.
Before I finish it. So, other than that, there's been The Blade itself was pretty good from Abercrombie. I really like his character work. That's been a lot of my time.
Yeah. And so we only have a few more months left in the year. Mm-hmm. What are you hoping to have read?
I want to finish the last 2 of Malazan.
Okay.
I want to try to finish the original 6 from Frank Herbert for Dune. Other than that, I'm not really... We got to read the stuff we're going to discuss.
Mm-hmm. Which we've actually went through and planned out SEVIN's schedule, and we will be posting that on our Instagram, and we'll probably even, I guess we could drop it in the description below so y'all can see what's coming up. So if you want to join in, which we would really love to have you, you'll be able to do that. And anything else you want to finish up before the end of the year?
Finish up?
Or have read? Maybe you haven't started it yet?
I was thinking about starting the Robin Hobb Farseer trilogy. Okay. Assassin's Apprentice, I believe, is the first one. The first lady of fantasy, as they call her.
Okay. So, those are your 7. As of this time.
Yeah, it could change.
in 2021. Those are your 7. Like I said, I'll be doing my 7 shortly thereafter.
Completely different list.
It'll be completely different. I can probably tell you there's not going to be... It's probably not going to have a lot of fantasy and sci-fi on it, because those are not generally the genres that I gravitate towards.
Gone with the Wind?
It might make it on there. You never know.
Scarlet Letter.
Oh, hell no. That is... If we're doing a list of books we hate, potential idea.
But then, usually I don't finish the books I hate, so it's kind of...
Well, then it'd be our DNF list.
Yeah.
Anyways. So mine will be coming shortly after that. And I think we're wrapping up this one. Like I said, if you enjoyed what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Also in the comments, let us know what your favorite books are that you've read recently, forever ago, currently.
If you want to discuss these in the comments, I would try to, talk about them if you... I don't really want to spoil much, but...
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
Let's just all have a nice little conversation.
Right.
It could be about anything. It doesn't even have to be relevant to this video at this point. We just want to interact.
Yes.
And with that, we will see you next time.
See you.